Oi, gente, tudo bom com vocês? Eu sou a Alice e esse é o Ali&Aqui e hoje a gente vai falar um pouquinho sobre o filme Something From Tiffany da Amazon Prime Video. Então, se você ainda não é inscrito aqui no canal, se inscreve aqui embaixo e deixa o seu joinha aqui nesse vídeo. Something From Tiffany é aquele típico filme clichê de Natal que a gente ama. A gente precisa de uma comédia romântica que deixa a gente com aquela sensação boa, né? Com aquele sentimento gostoso, deixa o coração quentinho. E Something From Tiffany é exatamente isso. Nesse filme a gente vai conhecer o Ethan e a Rachel, que são duas pessoas que não se conhecem, mas que por conta de uma confusão ali quando o Ethan e o namorado da Rachel vão comprar um presente da Tiffany, né? Eles acabam se conhecendo, meio que tendo um momento ali, né, tipo um encontro ao acaso, e aí, enfim, a história vai daí, né, rola uma confusão, alguém comprou um anel, alguém comprou um brinco, e aí esses negócios são misturados, os presentes são trocados, e aí a confusão já tá armada, né. Então o filme, ele obviamente vai ser um filme bem clichê, ele se passa na época do Natal em Nova York, tem aquela vibe, né? Tá nevando, tá frio, uma coisa que a gente não entende aqui do Brasil, porque é um calor desgraçado no Natal, né? Então não dá nem pra gente querer as vibes, não dá pra gente buscar as vibes. Então o que nos resta é assistir filmes que deixam o nosso coração quentinho e que trazem todas essas vibes, né? O filme, ele é realmente um romance bem fofinho. A gente tem como protagonista, né, a Rachel, é interpretada pela Zoey Deutch, que é simplesmente maravilhosa. Eu amo ela, ela faz filmes incríveis, ela é uma atriz incrível, eu acho ela muito engraçada, sem precisar se esforçar muito pra isso, né, eu acho que ela é naturalmente muito engraçada, eu acho ela muito carismática, então óbvio, quando eu vi que ela tava nesse filme, eu fiquei super animada já, porque ela é uma dessas atrizes que com certeza me faz querer assistir a um filme. Além dela, a gente tem também a Shay Mitchell, nossa eterna Liar de Pretty Little Liars. A gente tem também a Javicia Leslie, a gente tem um elenco super legal, né? O Ray Nicholson, que vocês sabem que é o meu crush more desde Panic. Saudades, meu Deus do céu. Alguém dá mais emprego pra esse homem, por favor, porque eu preciso ver ele mais. Então o filme, ele vai trazer vários personagens diferentes, ele é um filme que fala bastante sobre família também, o que é muito legal, porque o Ethan tem uma filha que é a Daisy, que é interpretada pela Leah Jeffries, que é a nossa Annabeth de Percy Jackson, ou seja, esse é um filme que tem vários elementos, vários atores e atrizes, várias coisas que com certeza me atrairiam pra este filme, e foi uma surpresa muito boa, acho que foi um filme super gostoso. Eu não assisti muitos filmes de Natal esse ano, infelizmente, eu estou muito atrasada nos filmes de Natal, tipo assim, muito atrasada mesmo nos meus clichês de Natal. Então, estou, entendeu, querendo ver mais. E esse filme veio exatamente na hora que eu precisava. Foi um abraço quentinho no meu coração. E, inclusive, eu entrevistei o elenco de Something From Tiffany, conversei um pouquinho com o diretor, conversei com os protagonistas e conversei também com a Javicia Leslie. E a gente falou um pouquinho sobre o filme, sobre os clichês de Natal, filmes favoritos deles. Então, foi um papo bem legal. O diretor, inclusive, falou bastante sobre essa questão da família, né, sobre como isso é uma mensagem muito grande do filme, não só em relação ao Ethan e a Daisy, né, mas também a própria Rachel e como a família dela são os amigos, né, e as pessoas, meio que uma found family ali. Então é muito legal, eu acho que o filme tem várias mensagens legais, é um filme super gostosinho de assistir. Então vou deixar vocês aqui com a minha entrevista com o elenco de Something From Tiffany, e se vocês, óbvio, se interessarem, vão lá assistir o filme no Prime Video. Se vocês já assistiram, me contem o que vocês acharam, porque eu particularmente gostei bastante. E a gente se vê então no próximo vídeo. Um beijo.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so the first thing I want to know is, do you have any like favorite Christmas movies that maybe you revisited before going to this movie?
No, for me, I didn't revisit any, but you know, my favorite, one of my favorite Christmas movies is Nightmare Before Christmas. So.
Yeah,
I watched that for this, but that's the first one that comes to my mind.
Hi, Javicia, how are you?
Hi, Alice. I'm great.
So, the first thing I want to know is, I mean, who doesn't love a Christmas movie with like lots of cliches? So, do you have like a favorite one that always makes your heart like beat faster?
Yeah, Home Alone. Home Alone is my favorite. I know it's not a rom-com, but it kind of is. It's him falling in love with himself, being able to protect himself against these villains. It's just so much fun. It makes me think of the holidays. I feel like when I'm watching it, I can smell the holidays. Like, and I don't come from a huge family, so to be able to see like all of that family energy, it's a lot of fun. I would say is my favorite.
Hi, Daryl.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Listen, the first thing I wanted to ask you about is like the Christmas cliche that we get to see in a lot of movies. So I wanted to know, what were your favorite ones that you got to include in the movie?
I think with something from Tiffany's, we tried as best we could to avoid cliche. However, at the same time, pay homage to the genre in that New York is a big part of the movie and has such a holiday feel. You know, we shot in Bryant Park with this beautiful holiday market, which is where Rachel's, the lead character, has her bakery shop. And the music has a really timeless, nostalgic holiday feel. I put a lot of throwback songs in there that aren't so on the nose Christmassy, but have that kind of romantic quality. You know, we have Dean Martin, we have the Temptations, and you know, the other elements like production design. We have holiday lights so that it feels twinkly, but in a more sophisticated and hopefully beautiful way to people. We shot it anamorphically so that it didn't have an artificial feel to it. Feels, just in terms of the lighting and my approach, is a bit more filmic than most rom-coms tend to be. And then in terms of the story, there is kind of a fun, inciting incident that I think is, you know, a common way into a romantic comedy, this kind of switch up type of plot point. And then, you know, there's the classic love entanglements. I think all those combined makes it feel like a quintessential, you know, romantic holiday movie.
I want to move to New York. Daisy, I'm gonna propose to Vanessa.
That is the one.
You heard the boss.
Okay, so this movie, it's obviously like there's a romance on the center of it, but it's also about family. It has a big like family thing going behind, because we have like blood family, but we also have like found family. So how do you think this fits with both of your characters?
Well, I think, yeah, like you said, she has a lot of, her friends are her family as well, and she's very loyal, and those relationships are the priority in her life.
Well, of course, he has his daughter, and there's not a whole lot of beautiful depictions of single Black fathers, so we need a lot more of those. He's got some intimate bonding moments with his daughter, and he wants to, you know, make sure that his daughter has a healthy family. So, you know, I think that is the journey in there, is, you know, how to find love and make sure that love is healthy for your daughter as well, right?
There's something about Christmas movies that always make us like a little bit emotional. And in this one, we have a really big connection with like family, but not necessarily just like blood family. So how it was like to dive into this and have like connections with friends, like maybe something like a found family and stuff like that for both of our main characters?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, family is such an important part of life, and during the holidays, it can be really heartwarming. It can be really bittersweet. It can be painful. It gets complicated for so many people. So I think the film and the script does a good job of touching on a lot of different elements of two people who are in two relationships, and everyone's trying to find themselves in a different way and not necessarily saying what's really going on beneath the surface emotionally. So yeah, I think you're dealing with two kind of broken family units in a way that are on a path, but not necessarily the best path. And they're facing a lot of questions. And so all of those elements, you know, around the holidays gets accentuated because of so much emotion around who you're with during Christmas and New Year's. It's a time to come together with the people that you love. And so if you're at all out of alignment with the people that you love, that becomes a bit more fraught with tension. So anyway, long story short, perfect recipe for a romantic comedy of sorts.
So Rachel is a character that is mostly like blind to things that are happening to her, because it's pretty obvious that like her boyfriend is not the best. So do you feel that like Terry and Sophia could have given her some advice in the beginning of the movie that would make things go differently for her, or do you think like she needed to go through all that to see what was right in front of her?
I think that Terry and Sophia are opposites in how they feel about Rachel's relationship. Terry doesn't like, the relationship whatsoever and has always been against it. But Sophia just wants to see Rachel happy. And if moving forward with an engagement is something that's going to make her happy, then that's something that makes Sophia happy. So you kind of see the opposite reactions when it comes to everything that's going on between Terry and Sophia.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good that she has like those two friends that are like capable of doing anything for her, but also kind of like respecting her feelings, because maybe she isn't ready to face it,
Yeah, I don't think Terry's respecting her feelings. I think that's like the tension in the situation is that Terry's like trying to control everything and trying to show Rachel that this guy is not a good guy, versus like Sophia is trying to tell Terry, just let her figure it out for herself. I understand that's your best friend. I understand that you're trying to protect her, but you have to let her have these experiences and figure this out for herself.
It feels like he's really trying.
Does that mean that I have to start being nice to him or something? Because I can't do it, I don't think.
You end up having like such a great cast with lots of great actors. So did you have something that wasn't scripted and kind of like happened during set that you decided to keep on the movie in the end?
As a director, I tend to use the script as a very strong foundation, and this script in particular, since I just directed it and I didn't write it, we stuck pretty closely to it, but we always were adding lines and moments here and there to have it feel fresh and how people would really talk. And that kind of stuff just comes in the moment as you're filming and working with the actors and ideas that you might have. Like, for example, in the hospital cafeteria, I thought it would be really funny if when Leah, the daughter's character, first meets Rachel, she's so dressed up because of the night before and in this like beautiful dress. So she's not sure where she came from. And she's like, "Are you a stripper?" And that was a line that I had her improvise in the moment. And it gets a really fun laugh from the audience. So that's an example of coming up with something spontaneously.
And both of your characters, they share like kind of an instant connection, but they also go deeper when they start to know each other better. So what do you think is the thing that kind of tells them like, this is something that I want, comparing to what they already have in their lives?
I mean, for me personally, like, I don't know if either of you have experienced it. I have love at first sight, which is the weirdest feeling on earth. It makes you believe, at least for me, in past lives. I had never previously been somebody who believed in that, but it's very bizarre when you experience love at first sight. It feels like not real, because how does that happen? But it does. I have experienced it, and I feel like that was the case for them. That was at least my pathos for the situation. And in terms of how they knew, I think it's you don't have control. You really have no say in that sort of that sort of thing. It's fate.
Yeah. What about you, Kendrick?
Yeah, I think it's a constant revelation, right? Like there's things like little indicators that you might have some chemistry, that you might have a connection, that you might enjoy each other's company. And then as it progresses, I think Ethan realized that so I always say that Ethan's a Libra and that he's like a people pleaser to a fault, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. And so I think he realized that was a form of trying to control things, like always trying to keep things very even, no conflict, avoiding conflict, to the point of sometimes telling a little white lie or whatever it is. and not realizing that that's unhealthy, right? If both people's happiness and everything isn't considered in the relationship. So I think through that process, organically allowing that relationship to be what it would be, I think he constantly, even, you know, to the end, is like, you know, navigating that and understanding how that plays with his daughter and such. So I don't know. I think it's we're always questioning it. I mean, even when we're super confident in love, we're like, you know, how could this be, right? Is it real? You know, it's not something that you can pull out of yourself and be like, oh, look, this is the evidence that I love you, you know? So it's always a metaphysical thing that we have to be thinking about.
Are you a person that believes in fate, or do you think like things happen just casually, you know? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I believe everything happens for a reason, because it's like science. It's like there's cause and effect. And so whatever the cause was, that's sometimes the work that you have to do. You have to figure out what was the cause. But I do believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, same. Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations on the movie. It was very sweet. I loved it.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Daryl.
thank
It was
you
very
so
nice
much.
meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. Appreciate it.